Dead Don't Die, which is the new film by Jim Jarmusch, who, obviously Stranger Than Paradise and recently Patterson, Down by Law. You will have seen many Jim Jarmusch films. So the story is it's set in Centerville, a real nice place. And at the beginning, Adam Driver and Bill Murray are cops cruising around. Tom Waits is playing a kind of wild man character who lives out in the woods, quoting Herman Melville.
Good cast already.
Yeah, the cast is pretty much... It's like somebody just sort of threw a net and trawled in all the
A-Flight,
indie, Jarmushy actors. So yeah, absolutely. So the three cops is Adam Driver, Bill Murray, and Chloe Sevigny, and then we have Steve Buscemi. Everybody. Think of everybody who you would think of would be in this movie is in this movie. So at the very beginning, they notice that the sun isn't going down. And then there's stuff on the news about polar fracking, which has possibly knocked the Earth off its axis and caused it to tilt. And this appears to have caused, well, frankly, people to return from the dead.
So what are you thinking?
You really want to know? I'm thinking zombies.
What?
You know, zombies, ghouls, the undead.
You're trying to tell me you're thinking zombies did this?
Yep.
So, yes, it is. It turns out, the undead are coming back, and so therefore we are suddenly in a zombie movie. But of course, we're in a Jim Jarmusch zombie movie, so rather than it being a horror movie, it's an ironic zombie movie, which is characterized largely by a lot of the characters not sort of reacting very much to they're deadpan, which sounds like a gag, but
so they're zombies with arched eyebrows.
Well, no, the zombies are zombies, but
okay.
Everyone around them reacting to them is reacting. They're all basically it's either you're either the undead or the deadpan.
Okay, that's good. I like that. Okay.
That's very good.
All
Okay,
right.
So as I said, you get Steve Buscemi as this kind of grouchy racist who wears a Trump-style cap which says "Keep America White Again." You have Tilda Swinton as this mortician with a comedy Scottish accent and a samurai sword. You have Iggy Pop in search of coffee, just growls coffee quite a lot. You have Chloe Sevigny as the other. So, I mean, absolutely everybody. And then Caleb Landry Jones as this store owner with a penchant for horror movies and wearing a Nosferatu T-shirt. And there is a joke quite early on when there's a song by Sturgill Simpson called The Dead Don't Die, The Afterlife. Afterlife is over, the afterlife goes on, and this is the theme tune for the film. And then they're in the car, and Bill Murray says to Adam Driver, "What is that song?" And he says, "It's Sturgill Simpson. It's Dead Don't Die." And Bill Murray says, "Why do I know it? Why does it sound so familiar?" And Adam Driver says, "It's because it's the theme song." It's because you go, "Oh, okay, breaking the fourth wall." And then later on, Bill Murray says, "Hang on, are we improvising? Are we going off script? Are we improvising here?" So there's this thing with they're in the car and they're doing this kind of fourth wall, but only a little bit, and then it goes back to being the normal thing. And then the whole of the rest of the film is sort of taking riffs from George Romero, who gets thanked, but like the key thing in the George Romero Dead trilogy was that each one of them, I mean, I know there was more than three in the end, but if we think of the classic trilogy, they were all about something. So Night of the Living Dead was about racism. Dawn of the Dead was about consumerism. And Day of the Dead was about vivisection and, animal rights and that sort of thing. Well, in the case of Dawn of the Dead, which is the one when they're all in the shopping mall, and there is the whole thing about they're drawn to the shopping mall because it meant something to them in life. Well, in this, we get a kind of repetition of that gag that all the zombies are they're wandering around going, toys, Chardonnay, Wi-Fi. So that's, kind of slight update on that gag. And as I'm watching it, I'm thinking, well, there's a bunch of kind of there's performers that I like, and I've always been a bit of a Jim Jarmusch fan. But when's this going to kick into gear? When's this going to become not just repeating the riffs of those films with a slightly, arched? When's it going to do something? And then you realise, it isn't. It's just going to do that thing, which is just it's going to shamble from one kind of slightly cute comic set piece to another, and then do another one, and then there'll be another little bit. And there was times that it felt like a kind of, you remember those hits on 45s? Hits on 45?
Stars on 45.
Stars on 45.
Yes.
Those things in which it's basically a collection of greatest hits but all done at the kind of same disco tempo. And there was a feeling with this that I'm just watching Jim Jarmusch just running through a series of kind of familiar riffs that we know before, with a bunch of actors who are in this kind of that friendly. And even there are jokes about, Adam Driver's in it. So there's a gag in which there's a Star Wars keychain. And the Star Wars keychain you can kind of get away with, but then they make a very specific gag about the Star Wars keychain. It was like, okay, so you're actually signposting everything at the same time. And at one point I actually thought, there are funny jokes in this, but they're few and far between, and none of them are as funny as, if we're talking Bill Murray and zombies, as the Garfield joke in Zombieland. So I kind of came out of it thinking, okay, well, if you could think of it as a companion piece to Only Lovers Left Alive, or you could think of it as just a sort of fairly star-studded but kind of
annoying.
I know some people have been annoyed. I was never annoyed. What I was just a bit like, okay, but it's really weird, because if you think about something like Stranger Than Paradise, the whole point about Stranger Than Paradise is that nothing happens. And there's the best line in Stranger, which is that they go to, where is it, Cleveland, and it says it's incredible. You come all this way and it's the same, and then they go back, and that had a real indie movie quirk to it back all those years ago. This did just feel like watching somebody just thumbing through their record collection with a bunch of big A-list stars playing indie and being occasionally quite diverting, but at no point did I ever get, oh, okay, I get what this is about. I mean, we're all zombies, yeah, I know, but kind of Romero did that, and you've already acknowledged that Romero did that, and where are you going to go with it other than you're going to go, Romero went, we're all zombies, and you go, we're all zombies?
So that's it. It's just the upward inflection.
It's
raised eyebrow.
I actually think, and I hadn't realised until I said it, that's it.